Paul Merson. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year.
So it must have been a lovely start to the new year for you to see Arsenal come back and win in the manner that they did.
I think it was very important for the whole of the Premier League, if I'm being honest. I thought if Arsenal would have lost that game, that would have been it. I think Liverpool would have run away with it. But that was a massive football result. Now they've got to go and follow that up at Brighton on Saturday evening. And if they can win that, they're right in it. But if they lose that game, it's not good for the Premier League, So massive football result for Arsenal. Very impressed. Going 1-0 down at Brentford is going to be hard. And to come back and be patient and play the way they did, yeah, you could tell by Mikel Arteta, he was well pleased with that football result.
Obviously, Bukayo Saka is a massive miss for them. He's going to be out for a couple of months, we think. But did the performance of Ethan Nwaneri in his first Premier League start leave you thinking they've got a pretty good solution to the Saka problem?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this kid. I think he's an amazing player. I think he's been patient and to get his chance. He's coming. He's not Saka. He's a different kind of player. Saka's going to be missed. He's in there, with Odegaard and Saka and Rice are probably their three best players. So he's got to come in. He's going to have to be looked after. I don't know if he'll be able to play week in, week out. I think Mikel Arteta will have to look after his minutes in that way. But yeah, a massive talent. Arsenal got to hang on the coattails of Liverpool, and hopefully by the time Saka comes back, if Arsenal are still in the title race, then they have every chance.
January is obviously therefore a big month for them, on and off the field. The transfer window is open, but now that Gabriel Jesus has found his scoring form, 6 goals in 4 games, has that changed your view on whether they need a new striker this month?
Well, if I was Arsenal and I had the money, I'd go out and buy Isaak. I'd break the bank for him. I think he's the best of the best. I think he takes Arsenal to another level. What I like about Jesus, he's got back in the team this time round and he's gone, you know what, I'm going to get in the box. I need to score goals. If I'm going to stay in this football team, I need to score goals. And that's what he's done. I think he's got 6 in 4. That goal yesterday was a proper poacher's goal. Very rare we see him in their 6-yard box, heading them in from there. So, yeah. With Havertz coming back as well, he wasn't well. It pushes Havertz back to midfield. But Havertz, naturally, as a forward, will get in the box and there's an extra body in the box. So, yeah, hopefully, if Jesus can keep on doing what he's doing, they won't have to. But, I'm looking at the all-round picture and I'm looking at next season as well. I think if we can get hold of Isaak, who I think is the best in the business at the moment, I think that would be a massive coup for Arsenal.
So
Sorry, Newcastle fans.
Yeah, to pick up on that Isaak point, if I were to offer you either Isaak or Haaland on loan for the rest of the season, same money, you're going Isaak, are you?
The way Arsenal play, I would have to go with Isaak. Yeah, I would have to go with Isaak because of the way Arsenal play, and they got a lot of build-up play. They want the forward to sort of join in, whether it be Havertz or Jesus, the way they play through the lines. So he probably suits Arsenal more than Haaland. But that's a terrible question to be asking someone 2 days into the new year. A terrible question. I think for Arsenal, I think they take Isaak because of the way they play.
We start as we mean to go on. Always terrible questions. Let's revisit what you were saying about Arsenal hanging on to Liverpool's coattails. Have they got enough to do that, to make it at the very least a race right to the end of the season and maybe even overtake Liverpool?
I think so. I think they'll have to take it a game at a time. I think it's a massive football match Saturday evening. They have to beat Brighton. I don't think they've got any slip-ups. I mean, if they can beat Brighton, go 3 points behind, Liverpool are 2 games in hand. Them 2 games in hand are against Man United and Everton. They're 2 biggest arch rivals. Should be really difficult games. Come what Sunday, I don't think it will be a difficult game, but I sort of wipe out the games in hand. Don't worry about them. Try and just stay on their coattails at the moment. The games in hand will look after themselves. But Arsenal got some difficult fixtures coming up. I think after this game, they have 5 home games on the trot, which is unheard of, really. Very, very rare you play 5 games on the trot at home. So, yeah, it's just stay in there. If they can stay in there till March and when Saka's back, they will have every chance, definitely. But they've got to beat Brighton. They're in a win-win, got to win every game now.
As for Brentford, the home form has dipped now, back-to-back defeats, only 1 win in 7 in all competitions. Is their season in danger of petering out?
It's a difficult one. If you looked at the fixtures and the games they beat, they didn't really beat anybody in the top half of the table, I don't think. Not too many. They beat Newcastle just before they hit their run, Newcastle. And then they followed it up with Forest and Arsenal, who, you know, Forest are a banging form, a real good team away from home. And then you've got Arsenal, who had to win that football match. So they will play all out, not all out attack, but the shackles are off. They got to win. No, Brentford are a decent team. They've got a lot of injuries, Brentford. A lot of injuries at the moment, a lot of injuries at the back, you know, where they are usually solid, where they have a good base. And I think that's the problem. But they'll be all right, Brentford. You know, they've got an unbelievable manager. They're a good football team, you know, and sooner or later they will win away from home. They've got Southampton away this weekend, you know, so hopefully they might break that duck.
Just want to ask you about something that Thomas Frank said before and after the game. He talked before the game about Arsenal's prowess from corners, and he said, don't worry about that, we're very good from set pieces as well. And then after the game, even though they did concede one to a set piece against Arsenal, he highlighted the fact that they'd restricted Arsenal to only 3 corners in the entire game. That was clearly a tactic to not give Arsenal corners. How do you do that?
Well, I watched Stoke many years ago on Sky, and the goalkeeper got the ball and he went to kick it out for a throw on, and he turned around and kicked it out for a corner. They were the other way round. Stoke had an unbelievable throw with Rory Delap, near flick on. And I don't know, you know, you have to constantly keep on showing players, the wingers inside. And that's the only way you're really going to stop corners. Because as soon as the wingers or the fullbacks get on the outside, you can't help but give away corners. But yeah, Arsenal are phenomenal, and they are absolutely phenomenal at set plays. You know, and it's a good weapon, because if you're not playing well at times, they will get you out of trouble. But Arsenal are better than just set plays. You know, we've got to give Arsenal credit. They're still a top team.
There's actually a lot of talk this morning in the media that yes, they're getting results. Yes, they're, as you say, finding a way to win games, but they're not playing as attractive a style of football as they were maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think the problem with that is, you know, they've earned the right now, Arsenal, the respect of other teams around the country. And it's hard. Teams set up against Arsenal, they kick off, they play 10 behind the ball. And it's hard to break down. You have to break teams down. It took them, you know, a while to break Ipswich down. It was a difficult night that night. If teams come out, Arsenal will destroy you. If you want to play end-to-end football, you have a shot, we have a shot. And I felt that was the case over the last couple of years. And when you score early, if you're Arsenal, then the other team have to come out, and then Arsenal will destroy you. But good teams win games when they're not playing great. That's what good teams do. You know, at the moment, Liverpool are going along, playing unbelievable football. It's when they're not playing well, they've got to churn out them results. And at the moment, Arsenal are doing that. It's not great, but they're second in the league.